able to do it by themselves.
I understand. Okay, that makes sense. Next question we had was, I caused a wreck and was injured. I've missed a lot of work. Is my insurance supposed to cover my time off work?
Okay, in this fact scenario, the person that is asking the question actually caused the accident. And generally, your own insurance policy is not going to cover your expenses if you are the one that was negligent and caused the accident. Usually in your policy, you will have your liability coverage, which actually covers other people's injuries that you caused. So if you injured another party, that covers them so that they don't come after you personally. And the other part of that is that it covers you if someone else injures you and they don't have enough insurance to cover your injuries. And that's uninsured, underinsured. Now there is something called MedPay that's no-fault insurance that people should look into getting in their policy, that if they do have injuries in an accident, even if it is their fault, they still have that money set aside for them that they can use for their medical expenses.
Okay, I've never actually heard of that. That's actually interesting. Okay, and we had another question here was, my insurance company has offered me a settlement for a car accident. I'm happy with the amount they offered, but my friends tell me I need to hire an attorney. If I'm satisfied with my settlement, why should I hire an attorney if I'm going to have to pay out a contingency fee to that attorney?
That's a great question, and the reality is that you don't need to hire an attorney. You can settle your claim if you feel comfortable and confident that the insurance company is giving you a fair amount. What you have to ask yourself is, why not at least consult with an attorney? Because most personal injury attorneys will give you a free consultation, and if you let them know, where you're at, the status of your case, and what the insurance company is offering, they may be able to give you an idea of whether they feel like the insurance company is being fair. If they feel like they are not being fair, or that that there is other avenues that you haven't considered for compensation, it may be beneficial to you to at least pick up the phone. So I always encourage people not to be afraid of an attorney, and just at least call them up and see what their options are. Many times I'm able to let clients know that they have other avenues for compensation, help them look at their case a little bit differently, and they're greatly benefited by that.
So would part of that be able to, for example, and I don't know if you're allowed to do this, but can you tell people, okay, well, in similar cases to like this is kind of the typical settlement, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. Most attorneys are going to know regarding how much damages there were, how much injuries there were, what a typical case like that would settle for. Now, attorneys, though, are typically pretty careful about giving exact figures or even, tight ranges, because, there's a certain amount of unpredictability there with the case. There's no magic book that says this injury and this insurance equals this settlement. But any experienced attorney is going to be able to tell them that, given what they've heard, this sounds like a decent offer, or this sounds like they may be lowballing you on this case, and we may want to look at these other avenues for compensation. There may be other insurance available out there. So there's just a number of issues, and like I said, it's a free consultation, so you have nothing to lose by picking up the phone.
Okay, makes sense. Well, for those of you who posted your questions, hopefully these did answer your questions fully. If you have more, just let us know. Again, for those people just watching the video, if you want to reach out to John, feel free. Also, you can just post your questions below to the YouTube video, and he will get back to you as he has time, but hopefully within 48 hours. So hopefully he'll be able to get back to you. With that said, John, I want to thank you for your time, and thanks again.
Thank you, Ryan. I'll be happy to answer any questions that are posted. Hello, this is John Kelly from the Kelly Law Team. I had a question regarding injuries in a motorcycle accident, and specifically, do I need an attorney if the injuries are minor? when you're involved in a motorcycle accident? The answer is likely you want to at least consult with an attorney on these kind of cases. Oftentimes, if the injuries are minor, the property damage on your motorcycle can actually be pretty significant still. Low impact wrecks can cause a lot of damage, especially to some of these custom bikes where you put a lot of money into it, and the insurance companies don't always know how to evaluate those bikes, because they'll take a fair market value of your bike, but they don't take into consideration all the money that you put into it to put the custom wheels on it or a new paint job, that kind of thing. So an attorney can really step in and help you present that information to the insurance company so that you get a fair valuation of your bike and are not left with, you know, out of pocket a lot of money. The other issue is with soft tissue injuries. Insurance companies oftentimes will try to deny coverage if they don't believe that you had a legitimate injury where they can show on an x-ray that there was a broken bone or that there was some severe injury there that is very objective. The problem that we see with these is these soft tissue injuries oftentimes will manifest themselves later and will cause a lot of problems for people, whether it be, you know, continuing back pain or sciatic nerve issues or severe headaches and that kind of thing. So you want to be just kind of careful with these cases, and the insurance companies will want to try to settle them fast. So it's a good idea to call for a consultation. I'd be happy to do that and just walk you through the process.
We're with John Kelly with the Kelly Law Team. He's a personal injury attorney in Phoenix, Arizona, and he's agreed to answer some online questions for us. Well, actually, a specific online question, and it was posted, how do I find the best personal injury lawyer?
Ryan, if you've been injured, there's a lot of things that injured people are going through, and it's a very stressful time. They have doctors they're dealing with, medical expenses, their own pain, you know, property damage can be in place or missing work. So it's a very trying time. And finding the right attorney is actually a difficult process and an important one. So I have some tips for people to decide on what attorney to use, and 3 tips that I think will help them through the process. The first is to look at the attorney's reviews online. There's a lot of great websites. Avvo is one of them, AVVO. Google reviews, Yelp reviews. These are all you know, online resources for people to check into attorney, what their reputation is, past clients, that kind of thing. The second thing is to look into their experience. What kind of background do they have? You know, I was a former prosecutor, so I have a lot of trial experience, and I think trial experience is actually something that's relatively rare in the field, and it's a good thing to have for a personal injury attorney, because that attorney can actually take the case to trial and deal with the jury and force the insurance companies to be fair. And the final thing is to just call the attorney and get to know them. Have a free consultation with them. Make sure you actually talk to the attorney that's going to be handling your case. I always set aside at least 30 minutes for a free consultation. Go over all the facts of the case with them. See if your personalities work out together, because there's a lot of attorneys out there, and you want to have a good working relationship with them. So I think those are 3 important things for people to look at, right?
All right, well, makes a lot of sense. Thank you for your time. And if, for the people watching, if you have any additional questions, all you need to do is post them in the comments section below, and John's agreed to answer those and get back to you. Thanks again, John.
Thanks, Ryan. Hello, this is John Kelly of the Kelly Law Team. I wanted to talk to you about how motorcycle accidents are different than typical auto accidents when they go to a jury trial. The biggest issue that we see is that oftentimes jurors have a bias and oftentimes do not understand the challenges that motorcycle riders face on the road. So What we do is we make sure in voir dire, which is the initial stage of picking the jurors, we ask the right questions. And questions that are as simple as, have you ever ridden a motorcycle? Does anyone you know ride a motorcycle? Do you know understand the mechanics of a motorcycle on the road and what specific challenges they face? These things can give us insight onto whether a juror is going to be a good fit for our jury and whether they're going to understand the physical properties of a motorcycle and how it can affect an accident. Very important to make sure that you have jurors that are not going to go on there and say, I don't like motorcycle riders, they get in my way, they're, you know, I've had bad experiences with them. Those are bad jurors for this kind of case. And especially because motorcycle accidents, they often have very high damages. The injuries are very severe. So that initial stage of picking the juror for the jury is very important.
We're with John Kelly. John Kelly is a personal injury attorney in Phoenix, Arizona. He's agreed to answer some questions related to car accidents. Also, if you have a